Whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Just announcement.
Good morning. And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of York. My name is Donna Alcorn, your worship associate for this morning. My pronouns are she, her. Before we enter into our worship time together, there are a few announcements we want to share about our community here at UUCY. First off, this morning, our congregation coffee hour is going to take place in the Carriage House in conjunction with Marion Lawrence's art show that is opening today. So be sure to go over to the Carriage House for coffee and and just really looking at Marion's beautiful work. My Divine Feminine is her theme. If you have come to UUCY today with children, we are delighted to have you. Today's service will feature a special time for all ages on the rug with Mary Barnes. All children and youth are welcome to remain with their families throughout the service today. In only a few short weeks, starting on September 14th, all children and youth will be invited downstairs after the Time for All Ages for religious education classes, where they will connect and explore together. Now is the perfect time to register your children or your youth for RE classes or to volunteer to help us build and grow our program. As always, our lobby is equipped with a live feed of audio and visual elements of the service if anyone needs to step out for any reason. Our nursery is also staffed and available downstairs. Make sure to note our announcements listed on the back of our order of service, including our annual in-gathering and water communion service on September 7th. You can scan the QR codes with your phone for more details and information for newcomers. We are delighted to have you with us today. Whoever you are, whoever you love, we are glad your faith journey brought you here today. The mission of this congregation is to nurture a loving community, inspire lifelong spiritual and personal growth, and to act for a better world. We welcome you all joining us in person or online. If you are joining us for the first time, we invite you to visit our welcome desk to fill out a newcomer card or send an email to welcome@uucy.org. so that we can get to know you better. Let us now mark this time made sacred by our presence by taking a collective breath. Again, welcome to UUCY.
Good morning, friends, and welcome. I want to draw your attention to the top of your order of service. If you don't have one, you can raise your hand and the ushers will bring you one. We've extended an extra thanks and praise to our many laborers who made this service possible today, and I've attempted to list as many names as I could find about this particular service, but it is really not even close to complete because there are so many folks who labor throughout the week, and even those who just show up on Sunday morning ready to labor with us and fill in any gaps on the fly. These people are sacred human beings who deserve our thanks and praise, but they also deserve rest. It's the focus of this service today, so I just want to send those energies to these beloveds that have helped us so much. Not only for what they've done do they deserve rest, but because it is their human right. They are not machines. So we gather our good vibes around these beloveds and all those who labor. As we enter into our time of worship this morning, I offer an invocation, the words of Reverend Dr. Megan Weiser. We enter this sanctuary for kindness and comfort. May rough, worn hands and aching backs be healed. We enter this sanctuary of hope for equality. May those who labor to survive live to know justice. We enter this sanctuary of love and vocation. May our bonds of solidarity be strengthened. We enter this sanctuary of courage and friendship. May we proceed hand in hand toward freedom. Come, let us worship together with a lively, different version of hymn number 95? No. 188. 188. Come, come, whoever you are.
Worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come, 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 whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Invite him up there. So for our chalice lighting, I'd like to invite Rue up to help us light our chalice this morning. As we light our chalice this morning in the sanctuary, a symbol of our living tradition, those joining us remotely are also invited to light a candle or chalice of their own. I offer words from Paul Dazel. On this Sunday morning before Labor Day, we light this flame to honor all work, not only the work we do for pay with our hands, our backs, our minds, that is important, yes, but also the work we do for love, the work we do to help others stay alive and belong instead of being outcast. The work we do to ensure people are paid fairly, work reasonable hours, and have quality in their lives. The work we do caring for the young, the old, the infirm. The work we do to mentor, to educate, to advocate, and to enrich the community, the country, and the world. We honor all laborers that support our work and our world, and all the work we do to make this place better.
morning. I'd like to invite any children who are willing and any adults who feel young at heart to come join me on the rug. The pictures are adorable. I think you will enjoy the pictures. Have any of you ever heard a parent or a grandparent or even a brother or a sister say, "Just give me 5 minutes of peace"? Raise your hand if you've ever heard somebody say that. There you go. Or if you've ever said that. Let's raise your... Okay. Well, the name of this book is 5 Minutes Peace by Jill Murphy. It's in here somewhere. The children were having breakfast. This was not a pleasant sight. Mrs. Large took a tray from the cupboard. She set it with a teapot, a milk jug, her favorite cup and saucer, a plate of marmalade toast, and leftover cake from yesterday. She stuffed the morning newspaper into her pocket and sneaked off towards the door. "Where are you going with that tray, Mom?" asked Laura. "To the bathroom," said Mrs. Large. "Why?" asked the other two children. "Because I want 5 minutes peace from all of you. That's why." I never had this much trouble turning pages. "Can we come?" asked Lester as they trudged up the stairs behind her. "No," said Mrs. Large, "you can't." "What shall we do then?" asked Laura. "You can play," said Mrs. Large, "downstairs, by yourselves, and keep an eye on the baby." "I'm not a baby," muttered the little one. Mrs. Large ran a deep hot bath. She emptied half a bottle of bubble bath into the water, plunked on her shower cap, and got in. She poured herself a cup of tea and lay back with her eyes closed. It was heaven. "Can I play you my tune?" asked Lester. Mrs. Large opened one eye. "Must you?" she asked. "I've been practicing," said Lester. "You told me to. Can I, please, just for 1 minute?" So Lester played "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star" 3.5 times. In came Laura. "Can I read you a page from my reading book?" she asked. "No, Laura," said Mrs. Large. "Go on, all of you, downstairs." "You let Lester play his tune," said Laura. "I heard. You like him better than you like me. It's not fair." "Oh, don't be silly, Laura," said Mrs. Large. "All right, go ahead then. Just 1 page." So Laura read. She read 4.5 pages of Little Red Riding Hood. In came the little one with a trunk full of toys. They're elephants, by the way. "For you," they beamed, flinging them all into the bathwater. "Thank you, dear," said Mrs. Large weakly. "Can I see the cartoons in the paper?" asked Laura. "Can I have the cake?" asked Lester. "Can I get in with you?" asked the little one. Mrs. Large groaned. In the end, they all got in. The little one was in such a hurry that they forgot to take off their pajamas. Mrs. Large got out. She dried herself, put on her bathrobe, and headed for the door. "Where are you going now, Mom?" asked Laura. "To the kitchen," said Mrs. Large. "Why?" asked Lester. "Because I want 5 minutes of peace from all of you," she said. "That's why." And off she went downstairs, where she had 3 minutes and 45 seconds of peace before they all came to join her. So we're going to stay. Okay, yes. Thank you.
Bathtub, but somewhere.
There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere.
Good morning. My name is Carol Stowell, and I'm here to talk to you about calling our settled minister, okay? So I have been a member of this church for about 35 years, but I didn't grow up as a UU. I grew up mostly as a Methodist. And I bet, well, I'm going to take a little survey. How many of you grew up as a Unitarian Universalist? Oh, look, right? 2. Okay. 2 people. How many of you grew up in a Catholic church? Oh, look around. There's quite a few. Okay. How many of you grew up in a Christian church? A more traditional. Look at that. Okay. How about Jewish? Oh, okay. I didn't know. Any other faith? Any other faith? How about no church? How about if you didn't grow? Okay. So, all right. Okay. So this is a new thing that we're going through to call a settled minister. Like I said, I've been attending here about 35 years, and I counted. We've been through 13 ministers in 35 years. That's a lot. And only one of them stayed more than 3 years. Okay? And mostly it was because it was a contracted. We knew in the start it was going to be a short period of time. And then, like I said, only one stayed for more than 3 years. And, after they left, sometimes we were really sad. Sometimes we were relieved. Sometimes, we went through all different kinds of feelings. But one thing that we learned is that the minister is not the church. We are the church. We are the community that holds together and grows together and works together to build this church. Okay? Now, our minister is important. Our minister is our leader, and we count on our minister to give us wonderful sermons, which don't we get wonderful sermons? And we count on our minister to lead our staff and to guide us when we come into challenges within our community, and we do. I mean, we're a lot of different. Unitarians, we tend to draw free thinkers, right? People who don't always play well together with others. Let's face it, we want to make our own decisions about our religion, so we want to make our own decisions about about other things too. And so Unitarians have this process where they call a minister. And how many of you were ever in a church where you were involved in calling a minister for that church? Okay, so there are a number of you. How many of you were in a church where your minister was assigned or your priest was assigned? Probably looks like most of us. A person was assigned to you. Sometimes I wish that they would do that here because I think, it'd be a lot easier, every 6 years, you're going to get a new minister. But no, it's really wonderful to go through this process where we get to know each other, we get to know our minister gets to know us, and then decide, hey, is this going to work in the long run? And that's where we are. So we've been having listening circles to try to figure out, like, how is this working for you? We really want to hear that, okay? We want to know how you're feeling about the minister. And we've asked her how she feels, and she said she likes it here. I'm like, oh, she likes it. She wants to stay. Oh, cripes. Hopefully more than 3 years, right? So, and so here we are, and you're going to be hearing from more people like me in the months ahead, or in the month ahead. But just remember that this is a shared experience, that the minister is just part of it. And we come together now. This is a historic moment for our church to choose our leader to inspire us and to sustain us, knowing that we must all do our part to support each other in this journey. And I, for one, am thrilled and hopeful as we go through this process to grow under Reverend Christin's leadership so we can build this community together. Yeah.
Thank you, Carol. We dedicate time in our service each week to address what we call matters of the heart. So let's ground our bodies and our minds and our spirits once more in this moment. I invite you to breathe in as deeply as you can and exhale slowly. Inhale again as deeply as you're able, maybe through your nose. And exhale through your mouth with an audible sigh. Inhale once more together, expanding our lungs, feeding our cells of our physical being with air. And exhale gently all the way out. As we keep breathing together, I offer the words of 27-year-old National Poet Laureate Amanda Gorman, entitled Hymn for the Hurting. Everything hurts. Our hearts shadowed and strange, minds made muddied and mute. We carry tragedy, terrifying and true, and yet none of it is new. We knew it as home, as horror, as heritage. Even our children cannot be children, cannot be. Everything hurts. And it's a hard time to be alive, and even harder to stay that way. We're burdened to live out these days, while at the same time blessed to outlive them. This alarm is how we know we must be altered, that we must differ or die, that we must triumph or try. Thus, while hate cannot be terminated, it can be transformed into a love that lets us live. May we not just grieve, but give. May we not just ache, but act. May our signed right to bear arms never blind our sight from shared harm. May we choose our children over chaos. May another innocent never be lost. Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts, may everything change. We now move into a time of collective sharing and witnessing as we light candles for each matter of the heart. This is a time to share the joys and sorrows, the small moments of happiness, and the deepening concerns that reside within our hearts. You may choose to submit your matter of the heart anytime during the week online, or place a slip of paper up here on the pulpit before the service begins. I'll also check in on our folks on Zoom. We light one final candle this morning for everything that remains unspoken. It may feel too large or too small to share. You may not be ready to hear it read aloud, but please know that our community holds these with you in silence, even if the words never come. We honor all that we carry with us and know that the flame of our faith kindled here resides within us also at all times. So may it ever be. I now invite you to remain seated as we sing together Spirit of Life with the Spanish lyrics. If you don't know already, you are not a machine. Nature tries to teach us how to rest. The sun appears to rise in the morning and set as our earth revolves around it each day. The tides advance and recede as the moon waxes and wanes. Life expands and contracts as the seasons turn. Our farmers and gardeners in the room and in our midst can wisely remind us that a field of crops needs fallow time, time where it's left uncultivated, in order to restore fertility, allowing for recovery, regeneration, and future growth. There's an old story of a woodcutter who notices one day that he'd cut fewer trees than the day before, and the trend continued, each day taking longer than the last. He worked harder and longer to feed his family from dusk till dawn and beyond, but he couldn't keep up. Exhausted, one day he finally stopped to rest and looked down to realize his axe had not been sharpened in ages. Many of us are dealing with dull axes, completely exhausted, maybe feeling like we're barely finding time to rest within the limited hours of each day, let alone time to look and examine our tools. We've been grinding too long, trying to make ends meet, just getting to the next deadline, then survive, and then, only then, after we've made it to some other side, can we actually rest fully. It's hard not to blame the Industrial Revolution with the beginning of the end for me. It seems as things have rapidly evolved with technology, not only has production increased on almost every front, but expectation of production has also increased all labor, whether mechanical or human. Many of us find ourselves addicted to our machines as well, our phones and electronic devices. I recently discovered the hard way about a condition popularly called tech neck or text neck. It's a chronic condition characterized by pain and stiffness and discomfort in the neck and shoulders and upper back, caused by prolonged use of smartphones, tablets, and laptops. Whether you're doom scrolling through a news feed or actually attempting connection with another human being, our necks sadly don't know the difference. In a neutral position, our heads weigh about 10 to 12 pounds. But with each degree that you tilt your head forward, I'm not going to do it because I'm in recovery, but each degree, gravity kind of takes hold and increases that load. I'm not talking about a little bit of extra weight pulling on your neck and shoulders. I'm talking about the equivalent of 60 pounds. That's heavier than Rainbow. Just pulling at your neck. It's really no wonder that we're hurting as a society. Instead of bowing our heads in prayer, we bow our heads in worship of a World Wide Web that promises to connect us. But we need rest breaks more than we need tech breaks. We are not machines. Tricia Hersey, founder of the NAP ministry, who is affectionately called the NAP Bishop, she wrote a manifesto called Rest is Resistance, where she says, productivity should not look like exhaustion. The concept of laziness is a tool of the oppressor. A large part of your unraveling from capitalism will include becoming less attached to the idea that of productivity and more committed to the idea of rest as a portal to just be. Hersey reminds us that rest is a human right, not a reward. Rest in that way, as a right, pushes back and disrupts a system that views human bodies as a tool for production and labor. It's a counter-narrative, Hersey says. We know that we are not machines, that we are divine. So what counts as rest? In a book entitled, Your Heart Was Made for This, Contemplative Practices for Meeting a World in Crisis with Courage, Integrity, and Love, Buddhist meditation teacher Oren J. Sofer suggests that rest begins with respecting our body, taking breaks, and getting enough sleep. It extends to slowing down, receiving nourishment, and appreciating when a task is complete. Ultimately, rest invites us to touch our own innate value and dignity as creatures on this planet. More than replenishment, rest opens up into creativity, joy, and the mystical. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel writes that the cycle of activity and rest honored for over 5,000 years in the Jewish Sabbath practice, 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. But on the Sabbath, we attune to the holiness of time. To turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. On Shabbat, we stop and turn to care for the seed of eternity planted in the soul. Percy defines rest as anything that connects us with mind and body. She writes that she took to rest and naps and slowing down as a way to save her life, resist the systems telling her to do more, and most importantly, as a remembrance to her ancestors who had their dream space stolen from them. Some of our ancestors were not allowed to take breaks. We're not allowed to get a full night's sleep. We're not allowed to rest. But this is more than naps, her nap ministry message. It's not about fluffy pillows or expensive sheets or silk masks or any other external, frivolous, consumerist gimmick. It's about a deep unraveling from white supremacy and capitalism. She minces no words and gives it to us straight. She says Black people are dying from sleep deprivation, and our collective resistance to rest is a social justice and public health issue. Capitalism was created, she said, on the plantation during chattel slavery. And it's the same system that is driving the entire globe to exhaustion and a deep disconnection with our bodies and minds today. Hello, Angel. Let's get you back to your mama. Do you think you could come get her? Thank you. Restless girl today. So it's no surprise that we have internalized this systematic oppression as a collective and become very confused about what it is we're meant to do. Oren J. Sofer, that author, suggests that we may have swallowed the lie that our value is measured by worldly success. Or we may have become entranced by the illusory promises of fulfillment after completing a to-do list. We may even feel pride in our busyness, wearing it as a badge, indicating how important we are or how valuable our time is. When our sense of self-worth and belonging is tied to how much we accomplish or how well we perform, how can we possibly give ourselves permission to rest? With this perspective, rest begins to feel radical. But why doesn't it feel liberating? Sofer resonates with that struggle. We may have downtime, yet still feel exhausted, equally unable to find nourishing rest, often due to apathy and listlessness. But if we don't balance the energy we put into doing with the time and space to relish just being, what happens? We burn out. Trappist monk Thomas Merton wrote over 50 years ago that to allow oneself to be carried away by the multitude of conflicting concerns, to surrender to too many demands, to overcommit oneself to too many projects, to want to help everyone with everything, is to succumb to the violence of our times. Burnout is one of the violence of our times. It harms relationships and fosters disconnection from each other and ourselves. Burnout is violence that can dampen our spirits, disable our bodies, and take our lives. Are you ready for some good news? We don't have to be excellent at rest. We don't have to wait for the perfect time. The opposite of burnout is not perfect wellness all the time, but a state of active cycling or oscillation between rest and stress. Stress and rest, moving back and forth between the things that pull us and the things that release us. There's a sister researcher duo, Emily and Amelia Nagoski, who co-authored a book entitled Burnout: The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle. Emily holds a master's in counseling, but Amelia holds a master's degree in choral conducting. They're a fascinating pair. And I heard Amelia speak a few years ago at a UU Musicians Conference in Baltimore about their book, where they argue that wellness is an active verb, not a static state of being. You move freely through the natural cycles of being human. That is wellness. So you might be wondering, how much do I need in terms of wellness, in terms of rest in particular? How much is enough? Science says 42%. Seriously, that is the percentage of time they say that your body and your brain need to spend resting. It's about 10 hours out of every 24. And they say it doesn't have to be every day. It can average out over a week or a month or more. But if you don't take that 42% of rest and recovery, that 42% will take you. Some of you might be thinking that one of the benefits of rest is that ultimately it makes us more productive. But that is a slippery slope narrative that the Nagoski sisters would caution us against with this clarifying reminder. Rest matters because you matter. You are not here to be productive. You are here to be you, to engage with your something larger, to move through the world with confidence and joy. And to do that, you will require rest. While we're talking about giving things a rest, I wonder if we could take a break from telling people what kills you only makes you stronger. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. If you get hit by a car but don't die, did that car make you stronger? No. Does injury or disease make you stronger? Not on its own. Does suffering alone build character? Certainly not. These things leave you more vulnerable to further injury. What makes you stronger is what happens to you after you survive the thing that did not kill you. What makes you stronger is rest, recovery, slowing down. And more good news is that we thrive when we have a positive goal to move toward, not just a negative state we're trying to move away from. So we can reframe rest not just as an absence or halting of work, but as a presence of balance, a presence of connection, a presence of renewal. Mushim Patricia Ikeda, a teacher of engaged Buddhism, says it's not enough to help others, you have to take care of yourself too. She writes that burnout and sacrifice, the paradigm of the lone hero who takes nothing for themselves and gives everything to others, it injures all of us who are trying to bring the Dharma or their teaching into everyday life through communities of transformative well-being, where the exchange of self for other is re-envisioned as the care of self in service to the community. The care of self in service to the community. means that we have to build in rest and care into our plan for the work that we face ahead. Did you know why Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his fellow organizers often planned protests to occur around 11 a.m. in the morning? Because they planned with the knowledge that at least some of their people would be arrested, and they needed to make sure that they would at least get lunch in jail. It feels funny, like a small detail, but sustainable social change often comes down to these little details that help us survive in the long haul. Planning to make sure those who are arrested are fed is smart and sustainable work. Ikeda asks us, how can you make your life sustainable? Physically, emotionally, financially, intellectually, spiritually? Are you helping create communities rooted in values of sustainability? Do you feel that you have enough time and space to take in thoughts and images and experiences of things that are joyful and nourishing? What are your resources when you feel isolated or powerless? All really important questions. And hopefully you get some answers as you gather here. Ikeda resonates with this human struggle, though, naming that she too needs reminders of this commitment to self and others. She created language around this, which she titles The Great Vow for Mindful Activists. Each of us can take this vow if we feel called, and I actually had some copies made and printed in case you'd like to put one in your wallet or tape it to a mirror. I'll read it to you in closing today as my own vow, because transparently I wrestle with the same issues that I preach about. It is a great vow for mindful activists and really anyone in the work of Unitarian Universalism, I feel. Aware of suffering and injustice, I, Reverend Christin Green, am working to create a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world. I promise, for the benefit of all, to practice self-care, mindfulness, healing, and joy. I vow to not burn out. May that be so. Blessed be, and amen. Now I know as you turn to your orders of service, I may not be the only one who chuckles a little when they read the title of our responsive hymn this morning, Oh, what a piece of work they are. Although sometimes stated with a tone of annoyance, the hymn's carefully crafted lyrics approach life with a sense of awe and wonder. UU Minister Reverend Kimberly Debus reflects on the infinite capacity of human mind, our ability to learn and explore and think new things. And yes, she gets it, our ability, we have the capacity to create terrible things like hate and oppression and violence. But Rev Kimberly suggests that is actually all the more reason to celebrate the goodness of humanity, our potential to do better. If we didn't believe in that inherent potential to help one another, to do better, to learn and do and teach and discover, what is this life for? And so today, every time we sing this hymn, it's worth pausing to remember that we are amazing creatures, marvelously wrought. We really are a piece of work. And the activist and radical political lyricist Malvina Reynolds captures it perfectly. Would you please rise in body or in spirit to join Lisa in singing?
What a piece
Our offertory words. We now invite you into a spirit of generosity as we collect our weekly offering. Each month, we commit to share our offering collection with a community organization that upholds our values. Our Share the Plate partner for August is UU Justice PA, a program of the Unitarian Universalist Justice Education Fund. Their mission is to pursue justice by voting, advocating, and making just public policies within Pennsylvania. It is supported by our 37 congregations in Pennsylvania, and it has 7 justice teams. And currently, I am serving on the board for our UU Justice PA. Our ushers will now come forward to collect the offering. It is, if this is your first time visiting with us, please feel free to let the basket pass you by. Your presence is a gift to us. Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices if you have lit them, with the words printed in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
As this Labor Day holiday weekend continues through Monday, please remember a few things. That you are not a machine, so stop grinding for a minute at least. You don't have to be perfect at rest. The opposite of burnout isn't wellness, but a state of moving between stress and rest. And finally, rest matters because you matter. You're whole, holy, loved, and worthy of rest. 42% of it, to be specific. Even if taken in micro moments of breathing deeply, savoring nourishment, taking breaks, or just slowing down. May you find restorative rest in this weekend and in this great turning. Please rise in body or in spirit to join in singing our familiar song, We Shall Be Known.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these facts. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap, within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the web. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead